The Texas Bowl is a proud partner of the Mr. Texas Football Player of the Year Award and the Gridiron Legends program. The Gridiron Legends program honors individuals who have made a significant contribution to the game of football in the state of Texas, either at the high school, collegiate, or professional level. And we have the great pleasure to talk to one of those Gridiron Legends. We are joined by the great Johnny Roland. Mr. Roland, how are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Thank you so much for your time and joining us. You were. I want to go. I want to go back. Not to date you a little bit, but I want to go back to you leading Corpus Christi Miller to a state championship. You know, the UIL is celebrating 100 years of high school football, and that Miller team has a very special place in Texas high school football history as the first non-segregated team to win a high school football state championship in the UIL. When you think back on your on playing there for Corpus Christi Miller and specifically for that state championship team, what memories spring to mind?
Now, you know that's 60 years ago, right?
I told you I'm not trying to date you.
Well, I know we had a bunch of guys that just loved each other, wanted to play for each other, wanted to help each other up. I mean, you're talking about a great team with great teammates. I mean, there was no envy or jealousy or anything. It's just that when Coach Regas lined us up to go play ball, that we wanted to have fun, and he also wanted to, play well, and hopefully, in doing either one of those two, that we would come out victorious.
You have since been able to after that you went on to a terrific career at the University of Missouri, which is also my alma mater. So I'm a little bit
No
partial.
kidding, is that right?
I'm a little partial to this conversation, yes, sir.
Yeah. So you're a tiger, huh?
I am, and so obviously you had an unbelievable career there. You're a member of the College Football Hall of Fame, but we all we hear that football in the state of Texas is the best. We hear about high school football being there. Did you feel like playing high school football in the state of Texas helped prepare you for what was ended up being a terrific college and pro career?
You know what? I'm gonna say yes.
Hmm.
Uh, we had, like, obviously you got to have a good team. You got to have good coaching, and you got to do everything generally, hopefully, right on. But we had, as I said, we had a bunch of guys that we didn't care, what you did, what was your reputation, and none of that. We were just gonna go out and play 60 minutes of our kind of football.
You were a member of a team you mentioned 60 years ago that won a state championship. Obviously, football has changed quite a bit since then. How closely do you keep up with high school football and college football these days?
Not much in high school.
Hmm.
Well, this year or the last 2 years, I've had to because my grandson is a player at a high school here in St. Louis,
Hmm.
and he's just gotten a scholarship to Benedictine College in Atchison, Kansas. So I went to see him a couple, three times. Um, football here is okay. I mean, it's not to the level of Texas football, only because you guys got great weather all the time, and so we have inclement weather sometimes here, and that is a factor. But football is football. Wherever you are, you go line 12 guys up against each other, and you go try to knock the snot out of each other.
You went on to a terrific coaching career as well, whether it was the NFL or Notre Dame or a variety of different places.
I
Um,
couldn't I couldn't keep a job,
that's
or,
that's one way to put
or
it.
I was with lousy teams that we didn't win.
Although one of those lousy
Yeah,
teams,
true.
you
Yeah.
mentioned you do have a Super Bowl ring. I have to ask anytime we talk with somebody who has a Super Bowl ring, where is the
it's
Super Bowl ring right now?
it's into my safe deposit box.
You don't bring that out at parties to just make sure you let people know whose
No,
house they're walking into.
no. I mean, and I probably should because it's such a great ring, and we put in a lot of blood, sweat, and tears for a couple of years before we really got it right there in Chicago. I went there in Dick's second year.
Mhm.
He came up on board in '82. Um, they played the '83 season, I believe, In '84 season, we started to get the program turned around, and of course in '85 it all clicked.
What do you think is the biggest difference between football when you played it and maybe football today when you watch it? I know there's a lot of differences, but for you, what is the biggest difference?
Well, the evolution, I guess. The guys are bigger, stronger, faster, better weight program, better nutrition. Everything is better and is geared towards the player. And of course, the guys are getting really top notch top notch coaching, and they got we ran the wing T,
Hmm.
so that kind of limits you in terms of what you're going to do offensively, other than just trying to knock the snot out of the guy across from you. If
Although,
they throwing the football a lot. We didn't throw the ball a lot. We threw 10 passes a game. Probably 5 of them were going to be play action. But there's a lot of high school teams that put running. Well, they had the veer, and then all of a sudden you have the run and shoot, and now you got whatever they want to call it. So the athlete is smarter to be able to absorb the systems, and then of course to be able to execute the systems with good technique.
Mr. Roland, you were the gentleman, as we mentioned, you were on the first non-segregated team to win a Texas high school football state
Yes.
championship at Miller. In 1965, when you were the captain at the University of Missouri, you were the first African American to serve as a captain on any University of Missouri athletic team. Uh, I think you're a trailblazer. Do you think you're a trailblazer?
I think I'm a trailblazer because it had never been done before. Miller they had gone to the highest they had probably participated would have been a playoff game in '58, but in '60 when we put it all together, that was early days of desegregation. And obviously, our head coach Pete Regis he was the right man for the job at that time. And some of those teams, I mean, that particular team, we had all grown up together. And of course, at that time, it was neighborhood schools. And so when we got out of school, everybody went to the park, or if it wasn't to the park, it was some kind of ball yard. And we just interacted off of each other. And so in Corpus, in junior high, we won the city championship the year before. And I guess it would have been 58 or 59. No, it would have been 57, I guess, 57, 58. And then I would go to Miller, and the same guys that I grew up with in the same neighborhood and same churches and whatever, we all went to Miller. So Coach Regis had a ready-made football team. All he had to do was just, refine our techniques and just get us coached up and motivate us and sick them. Let's go play.
And finally, Mr. Roland, you are
Let,
involved.
let, let, let me add another point to
Yes,
it.
sir.
And I'm talking about Coach Regis now. Is that what our story in my mind is a better story than Remember the Titans. And I say that because we were bringing 3 races together as opposed to 2 races.
It truly is a remarkable story there at Miller. I do want to ask you. We're talking to you thanks to our friends at the Texas Bowl. You're involved with their Gridiron Legends program. Can you tell me a little bit about what it means to you to be involved with that program, to stay connected to high school football through that program, and some of the work that they do in the community throughout the year?
Well, I really enjoy it because I get a chance to come back there a couple times a year. We have our golf tournament coming up in October. If if the plague is, if subsided a little bit, I guess. They do a hell of a job in the community there to give back to the community, and so they bring us back, and so it's really is a top notch program what they do and how they get it done, and you get a chance to see some of your old friends that you haven't seen for probably a year or two. Uh, and some come back and some don't, obviously. But it really is with the Pelton Foundation. They do wonderful work, and then of course throughout the Houston area. I mean, they pick out I would guess called subject, so to speak, that they want to, devote their time to, whether or not it's a kids program or building, um, swings or whatever. And it's dynamite. I mean, I really enjoyed it. Again, they have the golf tournament where you see guys that you haven't seen in a while. And of course, when you come back for the Texas Bowl, you see the new class that's coming in, and then you get a chance to renew old friendships with guys that you haven't seen for a while. I won't say a year, but sometimes it'd be 2 years or 3 years that you haven't seen them. And we all try to keep in touch with each other.
It's a great program, the Gridiron Legends program from our friends at the Texas Bowl. And finally, as a point of personal privilege, I don't get to talk to Missouri Tigers very often these days, especially Missouri Tiger legends. You played
Yeah.
you played for the great Dan Devine there
Yes.
in the Big Eight.
Right.
Unbelievable run there in the '60s. New coach there at Mizzou now, in Coach
Yeah. I
Drinkwitz.
don't know the man.
How
I've never met him.
how are we feeling about our Tigers? How are we going to get them back to the top?
Well, we got to get good football players and then coach them up, you got to come prepared to play every Saturday because you got top notch competition. Guess who? Guess who we open with now, right? With
Oh, I
the
know.
pandemic,
Yeah, all Mizzou
we
has
open
to
with
do is
Alabama, and we don't get any rest because the next week we got LSU.
yeah.
I hope we can still keep healthy guys going through that process.
Yeah, the SEC played a mean trick on Mizzou. I will say that. He is Johnny Roland. He is a college football Hall of Famer from the University of Missouri, and of course, the pride of the Corpus Christi Miller Buccaneers. Brought to us from our friends at the Texas Bowl. Mr. Roland, we really appreciate your time. All the best to you going forward, and take care.
Thank you, and really appreciated the phone call. And too bad we couldn't make it work via the Zoom, but it was good talking to you.